My video for November the 10th, 2019 is video number 3270. The title is Letting Go of the Past. History. For me, it is my story. For those who listen to me tell it, it is his story. But does it really matter what the story is? As I reflect in the present time, I realize that my memory is most likely selective. I may remember some high and low points, but nitty-gritty details are generally forgotten. Perhaps some details may even be embellished. The ego mind does do that, I've noticed. Anyway, spending a solid 8 hours in bed for the first time in a long time, I was able to reflect on my own history. Many questions came to mind in a fairly short time frame. Do the fragments of my past that are long forgotten have meaning? The conclusions I come to in the now is simple. Let it go. It is the decisions I am making now that will affect my future far more than any regurgitation of past events. Not even past lives matter. They are gone forever. What matters most is the question, am I creating my future right now? Aren't we all doing that as well? Of course, the answer to my question is yes, I am creating my future. I'm making a decision in this present moment to continue doing my daily videos. And I made a decision just the other day to stop posting my videos at midnight and post them. I said I was going to be posting them at noon, but I thought, why would I want to wait till noon? All I have to do is wait till I get up in the morning and wake up. I don't have to stay awake till midnight and post it. And usually the last 2 or 3 hours before I go to bed were, just waiting. And on one occasion, I even dozed off a little bit and was a half an hour late from midnight putting my video up. But I'm not going to try to put them up at midnight anymore. That was that was a mistake to try to get into that. But it's a mistake that I chose. I chose to try to be consistent, and I have been consistent. Someone that I just friended on Facebook wanted to offer me some business opportunities, and I said I'm retired and I do things for free and I make videos. She said, "What kind of videos?" Here's someone that had sent me a friend request, or so I thought, and there were many mutual friends, because I don't approve friend requests unless there are many other mutual friends of people that I know. In any case, I did approve her, and she didn't even know that I make videos. What are they about? She asked. This is present tense stuff. I mean, this was just a little while ago when I'm doing this. And I wrote that blurb actually more than 12 hours ago. I wrote it when I first got up this morning for, again, this video now, which was going to be my next video when I wrote it. I hadn't even put today's video up at that time. And this is, of course, as I said, is for the 10th. Anyway, I'm talking around in circles trying to explain the situation of this video, but I attended a group today in which we were reflecting on the talks that we gave at the mission that I go to every week. And of course, I talked about the book of Job, and that's an interesting book because here God is making a bet on the back of his best servant, Job, who did good and turned away from evil. And Satan says, yeah, but you're protecting him. Well, all right, you have at him, but spare his life. And so Job lost everything and didn't curse God, even though his friends were saying, curse God and die. He didn't do that. He says, though he slay me, yet will I not curse him, yet will I love him, and yet will I trust him. And after losing everything and suffering boils from head to foot that gave him no relief, he was healed and his wealth and family were restored. Now, that doesn't mean the same wife and children were restored, but he had another wife and another children. And the latter half of Job was better than the beginning. And I'd like to think that in my own life, the latter part of my life is going to be better than any previous time in my personal history, because I want my life to count for something. I'm alive, I honestly believe, because I believed I had a mission and it's not finished yet. They thought I was going to die 4 years ago. In fact, I ran into a lady that I hadn't seen for a good while, and she was at the same meeting today. And in any case, she said, "Yeah," she says, "4 years ago, I thought sure you were going to die. When you were making those videos from the hospital and everything, you did not sound good." And she and many of my friends thought I wasn't going to make it. And of course, the doctors told my family, that the odds of me surviving were very, very small. And I've told the story before how they sent me to a teaching hospital up at the University of Florida in Gainesville, Shands Hospital. And there I was put in intensive care and interviewed by a whole bunch of white coats that I found out were on the surgical team. And they all asked me one question: what do you think your chances of survival are? And I always said, well, I know I'm going to survive because my mission is not finished yet. And I still believe my mission is not finished yet. But what really matters is not even the past history that I just shared, because that's over and done with. All of my past history, and yours as well, is finished. We can't fix the past. We can only take responsibility for the present choices that we're making. And hopefully, those choices are going to lead to a more positive outcome for each of us individually, but collectively for all of us, that we are making choices that will get us out of the conundrum that we are in, where we have the most despicable people in leadership roles that have done awful things to especially to children, but they have done this generations, going back many generations, and it's the elite or the ruling establishment that does these awful things. And maybe in the present tense, these are being addressed, and maybe there are arrests being made, and maybe there is going to be accountability for these politicians and money masters that are finally going to be called into account, and they're going to have to pay the penalty or hopefully repent. As I keep saying, I wish all of us could repent truly and make a decision to speak the truth and to love one another. And that reminds me of a card that I got for my birthday: live, laugh, and love. I want to live the rest of my life in peace. And I'd like to find someone, as my friend Steve did, that I could share love with. And God knows I'd like to laugh, but sometimes, even in the present tense, I don't find life to be very funny. Although I'd like to see some changes in that. And hopefully this change of not trying to put my videos up at midnight will be successful in giving me better sleep. I'd surely like that, and I would surely like to have some of my prayers answered in the present tense. Okay, not hopium, but present tense answers to prayer. That would be a good thing. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.